ask Dr. Carmen to step up as I introduce her, because every single time I have the pleasure of introducing her, she always tells me, I don't know who you're talking about. And she always wants to look around. And I guess it's because my love and admiration and respect for you is just so great for this magnificent woman. I mean, she is a shaman. She is a mental health therapist. She is a metaphysical minister. She is the author of the book, The I Am Solution, which transforms fear. I could just go on, can't I? Oh, she's also hosting a wonderful workshop in Sedona called Divine Alignment. There's some information out there for you. But anyway, I just want you to know her teachings are easy to understand because they're just based on the spiritual truths, and what she makes you realize is that love is the destination. So with that, let's welcome home again, Dr. Carmen.
Thank you. Thank you, Hazel. Love you. Love you. Love you. Let me take you all in. Hi. It's so good to be here. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. When Clay had that image of reality as a mirror, I once again said, oh, wow, I want to hear what that has to say. So this is a really important topic. Reality is your mirror. And Ernest Holmes had this wonderful quote, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Now, this is such a deep teaching, so let me go into it really simply. As Hazel was saying, she was listing off all of these labels and things like that, which I don't really align with, and I'll tell you why. I had a bachelor's degree, I had a master's degree, my life was in shambles. So some people would say, oh, you know, you're well educated, you have a job. I was working at the county in Las Vegas, Nevada as a trauma specialist for children and adults in the foster care system in abuse and neglect. So I had this pinnacle of a job based on the training that I had. But I felt like my boss was a moron. I felt like the world was attacking me. I felt like there was nothing I could do right. I felt oppressed. I felt like a victim. My husband was taking me to court, my ex-husband was taking me to court for custody. So I had all of these things going on. I had all of these bills. I had co-workers that I felt were sabotaging me. So every time I went to work, I felt like it was like needles. I felt attacked. I felt victimized. So my life was not great. So what I wanted to do was change my boss. If I change my boss, if he acts right, my life would be better. If my ex-husband could just, I don't know, have some type of lobotomy, and he would stop this court and litigious thing and getting me letters in the mail and all of these things and accusing me of this, that, and the other, even saying that I wasn't feeding my child, and I worked for Child Protective Services. So it was crazy. And I thought that all the people in my life needed to change. Doesn't that make sense? It makes sense to me at the time. Until the universe wanted to show me that my life was reflecting back to me what I was thinking about. What? In other words, I was creating all of this chaos? What? That did not make sense. So I'm on the freeway, and this is my spiritual awakening, by the way. I'm on the freeway, I'm on autopilot, because I've done that route a million times over the years. All of a sudden, I'm on the freeway, and I get a flash of light, and I see an image of Jesus. The next thing I know, I'm in the parking lot of my job, not at a place I usually park, and I'm crying. and I felt this brilliant heat and light coming from my chest and my forehead, and it was showing me my dad, whom I had a falling out with 10 years earlier. And it was saying, love your dad. What? That makes no sense at all. Why am I? Of course I've forgiven my dad, I thought at the time, because I've moved 2,000 miles away from him. Doesn't that mean you forgive him? And so I was having this feeling, this rush of love your dad. And I loved my dad. And then I got this rush of feeling, love your boss. And I loved my boss. And then my ex-husband, I love him so much. So I got this rush of love, and at the same time I was feeling those feelings for those people, I felt this rush of love for myself. And I realized that I was not separate from my boss, from my ex-husband, and from me, and from my dad. So that was a huge spiritual awakening that taught me that when I understand who I am, and I'm not separate from those people, my life began to change. Do you know my boss stopped being a moron? Because I no longer thought of him as a moron. My ex-husband, what a sweetie pie. He was such a sweetie pie because I saw myself as a sweetie pie. I can't separate anymore. Once you know that you're one with God and God is everything, you begin to think in different ways, and then it creates your reality. Isn't that powerful? It really changed my life more than any type of education, more than any type of job. It was the way I began to see the world and the world around me. So when I'm going to Walmart and I'm in the aisle and I'm smiling and just going, hi, people are like, what is she smoking? But then they start to say, wait a minute, I think that's supposed to be normal. That's the way we're all supposed to react to each other once our thoughts are aligned with God, because the God and I are one.